Now to the David and Goliath tie at Villa Park. Unfancied Luton Town, who are 100 years old this week. They were formed at a meeting on April the 11th, 1885, versus mighty Everton, chasing the treble of FA Cup, the League and the Cup Winners' Cup, and following Wednesday's magnificent draw away to Bayern Munich, extending their unbeaten run to 20 games. That latest clean sheet in the Olympic Stadium, Munich, again illustrated just how formidable Everton's defensive covering has become. Now, I just want to ask you, lads, do you think that treble, they don't look to have any sign? I thought a little bit lucky the other night to ride their luck, Everton, but do you think that treble is really going to be the downfall of them?
Very difficult.
In the Cup, I mean.
Very, very difficult. Everton have been magnificent. For the last 18 months, they have been fantastic, and nobody has stuck up for them more than I have. I've said that they're the best side. I've said that they're capable of winning the league, which they will win the league, but I've just got a feeling that they might have a struggle today. They've come back, they've had a terrible hard journey over to Bayern Munich, and nothing tires you more than travelling over there, back, played the game, got away with a 0-0. I've got a feeling they might just have a little struggle.
The amazing thing is, though, George, that, I mean, for instance, the other night, Neville Southall, who's been the outstanding goalkeeper this season, he had a bad night for Neville. He missed crosses, he missed punched and everything, but the defence was so good, the cover was so good.
Well, it's a nice problem to have, isn't it, when the keeper has a bad night and you still don't let any goals in, you know. And as Emlyn says, I mean, they've won the league now, without a doubt. They look, if there's such a thing as an easy semi-final, which there isn't, they look on paper to have the easiest.
That's the danger, of course, isn't
of course,
it? You
yeah.
know as well.
Of course, yeah. And they've also done the hard part, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be very, very close to the treble.
It's going to be interesting. Anyway, Everton start the day making history. It's their 20th FA Cup semi-final appearance. That's a new record, taking them past West Bromwich Albion. In contrast, this is only the second time Luton Town have reached this stage. The last time was in 1959, when Norwich City, then a third division side, actually took them to a replay.
Owen spun the coin and won the toss for Luton at St Andrews in the semi-final replay. 50,000 fans on the Birmingham ground saw Terry Bly set the game going. Norwich playing from right to left. Luton in white shirts. Down on the Luton goal swooped the Canaries, and Bly made Bainham dive for it. He only half cleared, but Luton escaped. Luton kicked off on the resumption, playing from right to left. Norwich reserve goalkeeper Kennan was playing with more confidence than hitherto. He had to need to be, for Luton were already looking more dangerous than in the first half. On both sides, the tackling was hard. Fortunately, referee Hickson had the game in complete control. Tony Gregory put the ball across goal. A defender deflected it towards Alan Brown. Like a master, he sized up the position, waiting for the exact moment before parting with the ball. He centred, Morton deflected the ball, Bingham scored! So Luton go into the final. What a pity it's at the expense of gallant Norwich City.
Billy Bingham and Luton winners there, and 26 years on, the season's climax involves an FA Cup semi-final and the struggle to stay out of Division 2.
The reason why we have a dogfight is that because at the start of the season we didn't have enough of depth of squad to compete confidently in the First Division. I felt that before we started. Then what happened, we got 2 or 3 very severe, serious injuries. That made the situation all the more severe. Fortunately, at the end of November, the board was reconstructed. And since that time, there's been a breath of fresh air within the club. I was allowed to speculate for the first time, really, to such an extent. I brought people in like Peter Nicholas, Steve Foster, Mick Harford. A couple of players went out, Vince Hilaire, Steve Elliott. And the whole team, the whole atmosphere has been kind of reconstructed. Now, it takes a while for that new group of players to knit together. But we have seen in the last 15, 16, 17 games, whatever it is, I don't really look at records, very few defeats. And when we have been beaten, they've been defeats of a very close nature.
Individually, what have those signings added to Luton's game, do you think?
A little bit of experience and a little bit of maturity, and it rubs off on the younger players. I have 2 very good young full-backs, a boy called Mitchell Thomas and Tim Breaker. And the fact that Steve Foster's in that back 4, talking to them, cajoling them, shouting at them, encouraging them, that's been a lot of help to them. The boy Wayne Turner has done ever so well for Luton over a period of time. Now he has to do even better if he's to compete with Nicholas for a place.
Turner! That's what it needed!
And up front, Nick Harford has given us a central attacker that can what I could punch his weight.
There are two in the centre for Luton. One of them is Harford here.
He'll be aided, of course, by the tremendous speed that Steen and Wajobi give to Luton Town.
Steen's got a lot of subtlety.
And it's Steen! Early shot! Brilliant!
Now Wajobi is a new boy, very much a new boy. And he came to us from Dulwich, possibly last December. So he's had a few months with us now, but he's still feeling his way, but he's got some things that other players will never have.
Wajobi!
Now, you've sensed the build-up this week in Luton. I wonder what it would mean to this town and to this club to actually get to Wembley after 26 years.
Well, I'm sure it'll be very exciting, but we're taking it all in our stride. A lot of managers have told me how disappointing, how shattering it is to lose a semi-final. Well, if I tell you quietly, and don't tell anyone, that before the start of the season I never expected to be in the semi-final. So therefore it's a bonus to us. And we'll treat it as a bonus, and we're going to enjoy the day at Villa Park. The difference being, although we're going to enjoy the day and make sure we enjoy it, we're also going determined to put Everton's wonderful 20-game unbeaten run to rest.
George, real determination there from David Pleat. Emlyn suggested we might be in for an upset. What do you think?
I've got a lot of admiration for Pleat here. I mean, for his sake, I'd love to see them do it. But the way Everton are playing, I mean, they probably win the ice hockey today as well, the way they're playing. Yeah, I couldn't back against them. I fancied them.
What are the lads we've picked out there, like Ajobi?
If I
do you want to pronounce that, Emily? He's been wanting to pronounce that. There you are. There's his name. Would you like
his name anyway?
Emeka?
Yeah. Joe.
Yeah.
The lad anyway.
Him that just scored.
Yeah. He is obviously one of those unknown quantities, isn't
He looks an exciting player, doesn't he? You know, he's one of those players on the ball. And as Pleat said, the lad up front, Harford, looks a good centre forward. Yeah. But as I say, the way Everton are playing, I couldn't back against them.
Emlyn? You just follow up from what you said about being an upset. I've got a sneaky feeling myself, I must say.
I've just got a feeling that Everton have done fantastic, as I said 2 minutes ago, but they've been away, they've been in Europe, they've had a hard game, they've had a hard trip, and they might just come back feeling the legs a little bit. And at this time of the season, ground won't be hard, it'll be muddy, and they might just have a little bit of a struggle. But, I mean, they are the class side.
Right. Does that mean you're going for Luton or Everton?
I'm going to stick my neck out and go for Everton. No, I'm going to say Luton. Luton and Liverpool.
So we do know what's going to happen here today. George says Everton, you say Luton. Let's now go to Villa Park to hear from Steve Lee on any last-minute news affecting the Luton-Everton tie.
Final, having had injury problems this week, Andy Gray and Kevin Sheedy were missing, of course, from that trip to Bayern Munich. Gray is fit, and his confrontation with Steve Foster will surely be one of the most crucial of the match. And the better news for Everton this morning is that Kevin Sheedy has recovered from his ankle injury and seems certain to play. Kevin Richardson and Alan Harper will make up the 13. Luton will be pleased that Ricky Hill has overcome his injury problems. Manager David Pleat will pick Gary Parker and Wayne Turner in midfield. David Moss, the likely sub. The Everton party is in supreme confident mood, and well they might be. They've gone 20 games without defeat. Luton are confident too. They feel their underdog tag might just give them an advantage. And the Luton players, feel that superstition's on their side too. Apparently Old Moore's Almanac has predicted that the Wembley final will be contested by 2 teams starting with the letter L. So make of that what you will. We hope the blustery wind dies down in time for this very important game.
But what about Everton? How are Kendall's men still chasing the treble, and now only Luton stand between them and a successive FA Cup final? But David Pleat's men are 6-1 outside the City, and they certainly weren't at those odds the last time they made the final. That was way back in 1959 after a replay.
Norwich City kicked off at Tottenham in the semi-final against Luton Town. Norwich playing in the darker jerseys. City's outside right crossing was brought down by Hawks, and it was clear that it would be a hard-fought game. Outside right, Bingham centred. His inside man, Alan Brown, headed, and it was a goal for Luton. The Hatters kicked off after the interval. Luton's first-half superiority had vanished. Fabulous Norwich proved that in the Cup, they faced the country's best sides on equal terms. Outside left, Brennan received the ball from the right and gave Bainham no chance.
You know, when you know you've got to play a semi-final, you've got so far. And one slip, I would lay awake at nights in bed and think, oh my God, if I go out for a high ball and I drop it and they bang it in, or, you know, let one go through my hands, you know. You're thinking all these things.
Tony Gregory put the ball across goal. A defender deflected it towards Alan Brown. Like a master, he sized up the position, waiting for the exact moment before parting with the ball. He centred, Morton deflected the ball, Bingham scored. So Luton go into the final. What a pity it's at the expense of gallant Norwich City.
Now the question is, can modern-day Luton Town emulate the team of '59 and qualify for the final? Certainly manager David Pleat had the feeling they might when he spoke to reporter Tony Jones this week.
We felt right from the start in this cup competition this year that maybe it's our year. Now, we have to believe that. It might not happen. We might come away Saturday. We'll have still enjoyed it, you know. We'll have still got to the semi-final for the first time, I think, in 26 years at Luton. Great experience for some of the younger players. I just hope that on Saturday, the atmosphere makes them stick out the chests rather than go the other way and play introverted. But if we get the first goal, you know, it could be a hell of a game.
Well, Luton obviously fancying themselves a bit today. But they'll be up against Neville's Southall, who this season has taken over the top keeper's mantle from Peter Shilton, and who, as Martin Tyler reveals now, times everything to perfection.
Good timing is part of Neville Southall's life on and off the pitch. His hobby is collecting clocks. His home is full of them.
I didn't have anything else to buy my wife, so I bought a clock. And we bought a clock when we first moved to Barry, an old clock. And it's sort of gone on from there, really, you know, buying clocks. I can't do it these days, like, because she doesn't give me any money to spend on clocks. But, you know, I've tried to get a clock, sort of, you know, wherever we go. It's a bit noisy, like, but it's okay.
But Neville Southall hasn't collected too many goalkeepers' jerseys. This dog-eared specimen is the one he'll wear against Luton this afternoon, washed at home by Neville's wife, Errol.
I don't like the shirts. They're too small or too tight on my neck, and I couldn't wear them. And all I wanted really was a cotton shirt. And I think I bought 4 last year. And I used them and, like, sort of with, you know, people getting them and swapping with Bruce in a Milk Cup final and keeping the FA Cup final one. I just haven't got a shirt. I've only got 1 shirt now at the club. That's all I've got, and that's falling to pieces. I'm hoping somebody will give me another shirt soon.
Surely few goalkeepers have gone into an FA Cup semi-final in better form, typified by this save 10 days ago at White Hart Lane, which drew comparisons in some quarters with Gordon Banks' great effort against Brazil in 1970.
I was flat, really. I mean, it was nothing like that, was it? I mean, if you're honest, you put a lot of power into the header, so it was going to hit me, it was going to go over the bar anyway. I mean, that's what happened, really. You know, I think people get carried away where it was billed as a championship decider, really. It was a big game. They made a sort of half-decent save, and that was it, really. I mean, people, you know, built it up from what it was. I mean, if you go home, you never think about it, you think, well, you know, he hit me and it went over the bar, and that's it.
Was it the best save you've ever made?
I shouldn't think so.
Are you a nervous type with an FA Cup semi-final on the horizon? How will you be feeling, you know, an hour before the teams go out on Saturday?
I'll be looking forward to it, to be honest. I mean, you can't do anything else but look forward to it. It might be our last semi-final we ever played. You don't know, do you? So you may as well go out and enjoy it.
Do you think that Everton can win the treble?
No, I'll tell you in May.
Well, the goalkeeper's crucial men today, but they'll have their work cut out because Andy Gray is fit for Everton and didn't play in midweek. Will play, and he is having a super time of late, isn't he?
He is indeed, isn't he? It's incredible. Because he went about 18, 20 games, didn't he, without scoring in, and it was this particular match that set him back on the road, wasn't it?
It's a hard game, yeah.
And he hasn't stopped scoring since. But you can see why the man deserves to score goals, because he's always in there and he's not afraid to get hurt, is he? So he's obviously a danger today. Well, but him and Foster against each other.
That is going to be a real battle.
Forget about the ball job, couldn't it?
Well, at the other end, Mick Hartford, who you will remember from,
from
his days at Birmingham.
Yeah, always rated this lad. Good player, I think.
A terrific far post centre forward, Jim, I think.
Again, he's a bit like Andy. He gets in, he's not afraid, he'll bustle his way through. He's not scared of getting hurt, and he is a very dangerous player, and he'll also create a lot for the others up front here, and by his movement and his bustling and unsettling of the defence. Well, he's calm. He knows what it's all about.
Well, I watched him at Stoke on Monday. I went to the game, and actually Luton played very well.
Yeah.
And Howard Kendall was also at the game, and he was saying to me, you know, we've got a right game on our hands. He is not underestimating him.
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so, no.
So who do you fancy then for the final?
Who do you fancy?
Well, I'm going for an old Merseyside final.
Oh, yeah?
Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me at all, actually, Sam. I'm going to go for Manchester United versus Luton. Does that surprise you? And I'm going to have a bet on Luton at 6-1.
Oh, well, fair enough, James.
Two all
You do what you like
strikes.
with your money, sir.
Good evening and welcome to Match of the Day for the FA Cup semi-final. Feast on its own, provided by Everton, who started Match of the Day last week, and Luton Town, low in the First Division, but not in spirit, as you'll see. We join John Motson at Villa Park.
Old as Everton come out to make FA Cup history by appearing in their 20th semi-final. And they'll be welcomed by some 25,000 supporters from Merseyside. Villa Park, a mass of blue and white, as Evertonians express their allegiance to the side hoping to win 3 trophies. Luton Town celebrated their centenary this week, and it's only their second semi-final in those 100 years. What a day for these players and for their supporters waiting to greet them. Some 18,000 have come to follow the Hatters, knowing they start as underdogs, but determined to enjoy the day, win or lose. Villa Park, a famous semi-final stadium, and 2 infectious characters in this match used to play their club football here. Steve Foster, a semi-finalist with Brighton 2 years ago, knows his chance of leading Luton out at Wembley could depend on how he suppresses Andy Gray. Like Foster, back from injury today and scorer of 9 goals in his last 10 games. Gray and number 11 Kevin Sheedy return to the Everton side, with Harper and Richardson making way for them. It's Everton's 50th match of the season. That defence has already kept 25 clean sheets, and it includes number 3 Pat Vanden Hauwe, a former Birmingham colleague, curiously, of Luton's number 9, Mick Harford, who scored 6 goals in the last 4 games. Luton field the team which beat Millwall in the 6th round, which means Gary Parker gets the number 11 shirt, and he's the youngest player in this semi-final. He and number 2 Tim Breaker are both 19. The late Bill Shankly used to say that the semi-final was the most compelling day on the English football calendar, and whether you're a supporter, a player, a commentator, or even a referee, it's a marvellous occasion to be involved, and John Martin of Alton in Hampshire takes charge of an FA Cup semi-final for the first time. Luton Town in white, playing from right to left in the first half. Sunshine now after showers previously. Here's Breaker. Ricky Hill. Number 11 is Parker. Breaker goes forward straight away from right back. Came off Vanden Hauwe. Turner. Trying to find Steen. Bit of a shove, was it by Steen? Apparently not. Referee was happy. He held off Gary Stevens there, did Steen. Shot went over. Gray to Stephen. Offside against Sharp. Adrian Heath on the Everton bench there, second from the left as we look. Had an unlucky season out, or nearly a season, with injury. Donaghy with the kick. Here's Turner. And Nwajobi after a mistake by Stevens. And Everton looked jittery. Reid got in difficulties first of all, Harford threatened. Stevens made an awful hash of it, missed kicking. And then Nwajobi sent his shot across the goal. It was a let-off for the holders. Foster was penalised. Ratcliffe taking it. Mountfield coming in. Sheedy, but only to Steen. Sheedy again. Nwajobi. He's trying to take them on, Harford, and Nwajobi's in here. He's still in. Oh, blocked by Gary Stevens, nearly on the line. Nwajobi can't believe it. He was past the goalkeeper. And Stevens saves Everton. Thomas. Harford on the far side. And here's Hill. And now it's Parker. And Steen's coming in, and Stevens concedes the corner this time. What a dramatic moment in the 6-yard box, and Gary Stevens, the only reason why Luton are not in front. Parker with the corner. Good header out, that actually, by Pat Van den Hauwe, but there was already a foul. And the buzz going round the ground because Nwajobi has already given Everton 2 uncomfortable moments, and on that occasion he not only got through, he bustled his way past Southall as well. Perhaps he'll look back and think he should have finished it better, but Gary Stevens had the time to get back and make the important clearance. Here's Nwajobi. And still. Well taken by Southall as Harford came in. Nwajobi's cross. Ricky Hill. That's Parker. What a superb effort. This lad made the important goal in the 5th round. Won't be 20 until September, and he's got a good appreciation of the game. Thought he might catch Southall out there, didn't he? Just too high. There's freedom on the left here for Sheedy. Gray and Sharp are coming in. Foster's header. Sharp. Dangerous. Well played by Sharp. Foster pleased to see the danger averted eventually by Thomas. Van den Hauwe and Sharp are in the near post vicinity. And it was hooked away by Turner. Here's Ratcliffe. Van den Hauwe is still forward, and here's Sharp. Thomas saw the danger. Smart defending that by the left back. Kendall, the Everton manager, and Sir John Moores alongside him. Reed. Stephen. Sharp. Donaghy. And Bracewell beat Hill, and here's Sheedy. Gray's unmarked on the far side, and was appealing to Sheedy to cross it. He had his hands in the air, Andy Gray. Although from Sheedy's angle it might not have seemed so obvious. Harford. Ratcliffe. Breaker got the ball away from Sheedy. And also a free kick as the rain comes tippling down again. It's made the pitch pretty sticky in the centre. Foster's in there, and Andy Gray was back defending, but there was a free kick given to Everton anyway, which Mick Harford contested fiercely with the referee. And indeed is still being lectured for that dissent. Donaghy. Can they stay onside? Well, Donaghy was flattened as he released the ball. That's a free kick. Kevin Ratcliffe was the offender, and the ball had gone. John Martin will just have a word, I'm sure, there. Yes, he did. 10 minutes left in the first half. No score. Foster waiting to come in from the far side. And they want Andy Gray 10 yards away. That was Foster, that was Harford, and it was Stevens. He's had to make some timely clearances, Gary Stevens, notably the one from very near the goal line. Here's Turner. Steen. Turner again. Nuajobi! 3 times now he's been close. A good cross from Wayne Turner. Nuajobi with the header and Southall with the save. But when Luton look back on the first half, 3 opportunities of one sort or another have come the way of Mecca Nuajobi. Steen. Hill. Looks for Parker. Harford's there. And here's Hill. Ricky Hill! Beautifully taken. And Luton deserved their lead. Credit first of all to Harford for unsettling the defence, then to Steen actually for holding one of the defenders off. But when it came out to Ricky Hill, that shot was unstoppable. And after 37 minutes, the underdogs are in front. And the man who was twice capped for England and whose form took a dip earlier this season, but whose class David Pleat felt could be a major factor, has put Luton in front. So often David Pleat has said that when Ricky Hill plays well, Luton are all the better for it. A different side in many ways. But here's Sharp for Everton. Well, they're looking for the instant reply. Gray, Vanden Hauwe. And Stevens. And Hill now to Steen. And Andy Gray is offside. Well, what a spectacular goal. Ricky Hill, 26 now, but in the Luton team since he was 17. And he's sent those fans into raptures, certainly at this stage of the match, with a fine shot. Gray on to the referee. Sheedy, Vanden Hauwe. Bracewell. That was a very high challenge. And shots, flick, and Stephen! Yes, he did! And a good save by Seeley. Sharp flicked it on. Stephen with the shot, and Seeley had to get down to make a good one-handed save. And the whistle goes for half-time, with the favourites a goal down, but close to an equaliser. The man whose goal put Luton in front, Ricky Hill. Gary Stevens had earlier knocked one away, which looked like going in for Nwajobi, but that lively attacking play meant that the underdogs, Luton Town, just deserved their half-time lead. Everton had played 13 FA Cup ties without defeat today, and it is Saturday the 13th. I just wonder whether Luton feel luck was on their side from the start. Here's Bracewell. And now Steen. It was Turner who blocked. And again. Gary Stevens who went in. Free kick. Turner's cross. That's Parker. Luton's only previous appearance in the FA Cup semi-finals, and indeed in the final itself, was in 1959. They beat Norwich in a semi-final replay not far from here at Birmingham City's ground, and lost in the final to Nottingham Forest. Here's Donaghy. This is Van den Houw. Sheedy. Sharp. Foul by Foster. He's walking a bit of a tightrope again, Steve Foster, with disciplinary points, although not many of them since he's been with Luton. Mountfield is forward for the kick. That was Mountfield, and that's Sheedy, and here's Bracewell. He hit the post. A fine effort by Paul Bracewell. Steen for Luton. Oh, Nwajobi, Mountfield fell over. Nwajobi's got one to his left and one to his right. Didn't quite find Turner, but here's Thomas. Offside up. Flag up there anyway, but at the other end, Everton so close to the equaliser. Mountfield was a threat. Sheedy drove it low. It came to Bracewell, and that shot rebounded off the upper half of the post. Kendall, who was beaten on this ground as a player in a semi-final back in 1969 against Manchester City, when with Everton. He's come down to the bench for the second half. Here's Hill. Oh, nicely round Ratcliffe. And the break on the right for Luton is by Gary Parker. Steen's in the centre and there are others joining him. Still Parker. And Harford. And it's Hill again! Good save by Southall. A terrific stop. How important might that be? Stephen for Everton. Stevens. Here's Ratcliffe. Sheedy again on the left. And this is Bracewell. Again, a good build-up by Luton. And when Ricky Hill threatened to get his second goal, Southall, going down to his left, made a magnificent save to keep it out. Hill. Thomas to Nwajobi. That's an intelligent ball to Parker. Steen is free on the right. And again there are three waiting. Ratcliffe, Southall scooped it away from Harford, who was coming in. Another good tackle by Foster. Harford. Oh, Ratcliffe's mistake. This is Steen. And Harford. And Luton again having a good spell here. Thomas. This is Turner, and it was Stevens. Luton chasing the second goal. Nwajobi. Turner. Parker. Good challenge by Ratcliffe. Donaghy. And again. Offside. Steen. Just a moment ago, Brian Steen's skill and persistence set up a shooting chance for Mick Harford and forced another save out of Southall. Kick taken by Ratcliffe. Up goes Gray. Stephen. And now Stevens. Bracewell. Got the cross in, and Andy Gray foiled by Steve Foster. Just the man-to-man combat we thought before the match would prove significant. Two fine headers of the ball there, and Foster won out. Stephen with the corner. Gray's there again, but it went straight through to Seeley. Thought for Howard Kendall, but it's funny how emotions are contrasting. Steve Foster just turned to the Luton fans behind the left-hand goal and said, let's have some more support. Bracewell. Sheedy. Well, that left-hand side where Everton have done so well this season will have to produce something now. This is Gray. And Foster comes to meet him. Steen needing to take... Oof, that's Van den Houw. took Steen high and late and must be booked. Well, they know they're close to Wembley. David Pleat and David Evans. Jovi. Hill. Oh, he's fouled by Ratcliffe. Referee played an advantage which may or may not accrue. Thanks to Turner. Well, they were a bit unlucky there, Luton. The free kick should really have gone the other way, but he thought they had possession, and then Turner conceded one. 5 minutes to go. Harford and Foster are up together. They've been penalised. Now Everton have got a chance to produce something here 5 minutes from the end, and it was 5 minutes from the end that they equalised against Ipswich, remember, or thereabouts. Is Sheedy going to curl one? He drove one. It's there! Sheedy! Everton have equalised. Just under 5 minutes from the end. Sheedy with his left foot found the bottom corner, and Luton, who must have felt they were at the gates of Wembley, have suddenly been dragged back. Kendall and his team are off the hook again. And extra time beckons. Listen now to the Evertonians. Everton supporters have taken over again. David Pleat's come downstairs because he may have to do a terrific psychological job lifting his team again now if we're going to have extra time. Reed. Sharp to Gray. Sharp. Outside him is Stephen. Foster stretching and concedes the corner in stoppage time. Sheedy with the kick. What a volley by Gary Stevens. The bench thought that was going in. Well, the relief down there must be enormous. And they could have won it then. Is 1-1. Everton came back in the end from Ricky Hill's goal to save themselves with Kevin Sheedy's free kick less than 5 minutes from time. So their dream of the treble, of retaining the FA Cup, is still alive. And Luton are the team who've got to pick themselves up again now, because they will feel that they were so close, and the frustration as against the elation of the Everton camp must be for Foster and company quite distressing. Extra time in the semi-final, but if one feels Everton finished the 90 minutes on a high, one also has to say that they did play a midweek match in Munich. And if it's a question of who's got the legs, well, Luton may feel their fitness is at least equal, if not superior. We shall see. The FA Cup, always a competition designed to spring a surprise when you least expect it. And the Everton supporters grateful for that today. Racewell, wide to Sheedy. Racewell again. Vanden Howe, good run by the left back. Great run. And Gray, off the line! Mal Donaghy makes the clearance that keeps Luton in it. Andy Gray might have felt he could have got a better shot in because Vanden Howe set that up superbly. There was a bit of a dummy on the near post and Gray's shot kicked away by Donaghy. So, got a goal line clearance at both ends now. A free kick to Everton though, and they're still looking menacing. Mountfield is forward again. And here's Reid. Vanden Howe. The last minute of the first period of extra time. Gray looks dangerous again. Reid is coming in. It's Reid! Great save by Seeley. And Reid has held his head. What a save that they'll appreciate. But what a good move too by Everton. Andy Gray set it up. He looked so busy there coming short. He put Reid in and Reid was going for glory there until Seeley came out and blocked him. The end of the first period of extra time, and surely Luton now will use David Moss. They have Donaghy to thank for a goal line clearance. They have Seeley to thank for a fine save from Reid. And he's determined the others will not relax. And the substitution sees Harford go off and David Moss come on. David Moss, the 33-year-old who's given Luton such good service. So if we're not to have another match here at Villa Park next Wednesday, which is the scheduled replay date and venue, then we must have it settled in the next 15 minutes. Luton playing now from left to right, with Moss on for Harford. Luton midfield just hasn't got hold of the game since Everton scored. This is Reid. He has. Foul by Steen. So, 4 minutes from the end of extra time, Everton have another free kick. Sheedy curls it, Mountfield's there, and it's a goal! Derek Mountfield! And the free kick does the trick again, and Everton, the holders, are in front for the first time. Kevin Sheedy curled the kick. Derek Mountfield came in for the header. It's his 10th goal of the season, the big centre-half. And it's by far the sweetest for him and for the Evertonians. So, Everton, who saved themselves 5 minutes minutes from the end of normal time, now take the lead, 5 minutes from the end of extra time. And Kevin Sheedy's free kicks were responsible on each occasion. Are Everton going back to Wembley after all? Are Luton beaten now? Moss. A semi-final which swayed first one way against those Evertonians, but now is very firmly in their grasp. But Luton have a corner. And foul on Southall. Just squaring up a bit to Thomas there. It's certainly very tense now. The afternoon has gone sour for Luton. But the noise around the ground, sweet music to the ears of the Everton players. Steen is in there. Steen! Oh, it was a chance. It was a chance for Luton. The first they've had for a long, long time. Just under 3 minutes remaining when that happened. And look at this celebration. And look at that disappointment. Bracewell. And Howe to Gray. And there it is. Everton are through to their second successive FA Cup final. The holders come from behind to win in extra time, thanks to Derek Mountfield's goal. 21 games unbeaten now, still chasing the treble. Everton, at the end of a hard week, can celebrate again. Disappointment for Luton Town. Elation for Everton. They only equalised 5 minutes from the end of normal time, and they won the match 5 minutes from the end of extra time. Sheedy's free kick's the key after Luton had played so well earlier in the match and led for an awful long time. So a semi-final which looked as though it might go the way of the underdogs, but in the end, after a most exciting afternoon at Villa Park, in which players and supporters did themselves proud, went the way of the favourites. And still, the question is who can stop Everton? They win here by 2 goals to 1 and go through to defend the FA Cup at Wembley on May the 18th.
Well, I, for one, don't begrudge Everton a moment of their glory at Wembley. It's a pleasure to see them doing so well, especially in Europe. But I'm sure most of us would sympathise with Luton, having early on outplayed Everton, who woke up like a sleeping giant and snatched that precious prize away from them. Complaints about referee John Martin's award of the fatal free kick have turned out to be unfounded, although those who might have had a similar view to that of our remote camera would not have seen the offence. Foster and Harford had their eyes clearly on the ball, and it appears jumped fairly. However, if we take the normal angle and slow the free kick down again, you'll see from the same angle as the referee as it happens, Foster's incriminating arm descending on Mountfield's shoulder. So Everton go to Wembley for what in simpler days would have been termed an all-Lancashire Cup final, as Manchester United or Liverpool will oppose them.